The following content has been generated with artificial intelligence under minimal human supervision. The data presented may contain errors or inaccuracies. The opinions expressed in this content do not necessarily reflect the vision, position, or values of Digi-all. We recommend verifying critical information with additional sources before making decisions based on this content.
Welcome to Digi-all Tech News. Today is Friday, April 3rd, 2026. I'm Kylie Brooks, and this is where technology becomes clear and engaging. We've got some major developments to cover today, from Google's bold move into open-source AI to Microsoft's challenge in the foundation model space, plus a startup that's literally taking data centers to new heights. Let's dive in. Google announces Gemma 4, its most capable open-weight AI models yet, switching to the permissive Apache 2.0 license and challenging the closed-source dominance of its own Gemini models. Microsoft takes direct aim at AI rivals with 3 new foundational models, positioning them as cheaper alternatives to Google and OpenAI while maintaining its multi-billion-dollar partnership. Starcloud raises $170 million in Series A funding to build data centers in space, becoming a unicorn as it races to make orbital computing cost-competitive with terrestrial facilities. OpenAI acquires TBPN, the buzzy founder-led business talk show that's become Silicon Valley's go-to platform for candid tech conversations, marking the AI giant's first media company purchase. ElevenLabs releases Eleven Music, a new AI-powered music generation app for iOS, expanding beyond voice synthesis to challenge established players like Suno and Udio in the creative AI space. Google's announcement of Gemma 4 is significant for a few reasons. First, it's the first major update to their open-weight models in a year, and they're coming out strong with 4 different sizes optimized for different hardware. The heavy hitters are the 26 billion parameter mixture of experts model and the 31 billion parameter dense model. What's impressive is that these can run on a single 80 gigabyte NVIDIA H100 GPU, or even on consumer GPUs when quantized. But perhaps the biggest news here isn't technical at all, it's the licensing. Google is switching from their restrictive custom license to Apache 2.0. That's a huge deal for developers who've been wary of Google's previous terms, which included prohibited use policies that could be updated unilaterally and requirements to enforce Google's rules across projects. Now, with Apache 2.0, developers get true freedom to use, modify, and distribute these models without Google's oversight. The smaller E2B and E4B models are designed for mobile devices and edge computing, offering what Google calls near-zero latency. There's also a new Gemini Nano 4 coming for smartphones. All models support over 140 languages and feature impressive context windows, up to 256,000 tokens for the larger variants. The weights are available now on Hugging Face, Kaggle, and Ollama. Microsoft is making a strategic move in the AI foundation model space with 3 new releases under their MAI superintelligence team, led by Mustafa Suleyman. First up is MAI Transcribe 1, which handles speech-to-text across 25 languages at 2.5 times the speed of Microsoft's existing Azure Fast offering. Then there's MAI Voice 1, capable of generating 60 seconds of audio in just 1 second with custom voice creation capabilities. And rounding out the trio is MAI Image 2 for video generation. These models are available on Microsoft Foundry and MAI Playground, and they're priced aggressively to undercut Google and OpenAI. We're talking 36 cents per hour for transcription, $22 per million characters for voice, and $5 per million text input tokens for image generation. This pricing strategy signals Microsoft's intent to compete directly, rather than just partnering. Speaking of partnerships, Microsoft is maintaining its complex relationship with OpenAI, having invested over $13 billion while also pursuing its own independent superintelligence research. It's a dual approach that's becoming more common in the AI industry. Now here's a story that sounds like science fiction but is very real. Starcloud, a Y Combinator graduate, just raised $170 million in Series A, funding at a $1.1 billion valuation. Their mission? Building data centers in space. They've already launched their first satellite with an NVIDIA H100 GPU back in November, and they plan to launch Starcloud 2 later this year with multiple GPUs, including an NVIDIA Blackwell chip and an AWS server blade. The endgame is Starcloud 3, a 200-kilowatt, 3-ton data center spacecraft designed to launch on SpaceX's Starship. CEO Philip Johnston believes they can achieve cost parity with terrestrial data centers at approximately 5 cents per kilowatt hour, contingent on launch costs dropping to around $500 per kilogram. The business model involves selling processing power to other spacecraft and eventually pulling workloads from Earth-based data centers. It's an audacious vision with significant technical hurdles. Power generation, cooling, and GPU synchronization are major challenges. But if they pull it off, they could tap into virtually unlimited solar energy and bypass the land and regulatory constraints facing ground-based facilities. Competitors like Etherflux, Google's Project Suncatcher, and Ethero are also working on orbital computing, making this a race worth watching. OpenAI is making a surprising move into media with its acquisition of TBPN, that's the Technology Business Programming Network, a popular tech talk show hosted by former founders John Coogan and Geordie Hayes. The show airs daily on YouTube and X for 3 hours, focusing on tech, business, AI, and defense. It's gained a reputation as Silicon Valley's equivalent to SportsCenter, a place where CEOs like Zuckerberg, Nadella, and even Sam Altman himself appear for candid conversations. TBPN will continue to operate independently, reporting to OpenAI's strategy team under Chris Lehane, who joined the company in 2024 and has been advising on AI policy. The show is projected to generate over $30 million in revenue this year. OpenAI's head of AGI deployment, Fiji Simo, emphasized that TBPN will maintain editorial independence, choosing their own guests and making their own editorial decisions. Sam Altman, who called TBPN his favorite tech show, stated he doesn't expect them to go easier on OpenAI. The acquisition has raised eyebrows given OpenAI's IPO prospects and the potential conflicts of interest in owning a media platform that covers the AI industry. ElevenLabs is expanding beyond its voice synthesis roots with Eleven Music, a new iOS app for AI-powered music generation. The app lets users create up to 7 songs per day for free using natural language prompts, with options to adjust song length, lyrics, and writing style. Users can also discover and remix tracks created by others. The interface looks familiar if you've used Spotify or Apple Music, with live stations, pre-created albums, daily mixes, organized by mood like focus, energy, and chill, plus top charts and trending sections. A pro tier at $9.99 per month gets you 500 tracks monthly and over 500 gigabytes of storage. This is part of ElevenLabs' strategy to diversify beyond voice models, which they see eventually becoming commoditized. The company raised $500 million in February at an $11 billion valuation, and they've been busy building out their creative toolkit. Last August, they released their first music generation model, and earlier this year, they partnered with top music producers on an AI-created album. They're also hiring a consumer music marketing lead, suggesting bigger plans for this vertical. That's our coverage for today. From Google's open source pivot with Gemma 4 to Microsoft's competitive AI models, from data centers in orbit to OpenAI's media play, the tech landscape continues to evolve at breakneck speed. We'll keep tracking these developments and more. Stay tuned. Thank you for staying informed with Digi-all Tech news. We'll be back with more updates as they develop.